You want to know what guys really think and talk about behind closed doors? Look no further. Welcome to the Other Guys Podcasts. You'll most likely be offended, but you'll probably laugh too. So, enjoy. What's up? Okay. Anyways, welcome to another episode of the Other Guys Podcast. I'm Special K.
This is Dimes.
I'm Moves. What's up?
A lot is up. So I want to talk about a very special thing that's dear to all of us, and that is picking up chicks. So basically, pickups, seduction, that whole entire process. I want to dive into that world today, and I think we have a really good set of knowledge around here. We have Mr. Moves, our expert on the subject of.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I'm.
What's your success ratio?
I'm kind of out of it now, right?
But okay,
I'm happy.
But in your prime success rate. Every just a ballpark.
I don't know.
Every 100 girl, how many?
Those are crazy numbers, man. Like 100 girls. What kind of fucking loser?
Okay, yeah.
Like not loser, but like 100.
How many female phone numbers do you have in your phone, or had in your phone, or in your black book at one point? How many? I guess
a few.
What's a few?
A few.
What's this roster looking like?
But it changes, right? Like, if it's a certain time, year or whatever, you might have a few
dry spells,
that are in there that you call, or you're seeing here or there. You date for a little while, and then you meet somebody else. You go out, and then whatever, or maybe somebody just doesn't want to meet up. But it changes. I don't know. A few.
Okay, so when
more than a few. But
when would you say you were in your prime? When, like what era of your life where you're like, you know what?
I think
at that time.
Yeah, I break it up. There's I think for me, it was your teen years are different.
Okay.
Because that's when you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're just running around, and like for a long portion of that, you don't even know how to talk to girls, right? Maybe some guys did, some guys do, or you got a look or whatever, and girls are just going for it. So I think for me, it'd be my late teens was an era of me discovering, how to approach women. But that was a different time for me. I started working in a bar, so my kind of perspective changed, rather than being a sporty teen guy or whatever that hung out with girls and I had girlfriends and you meet girls. I remember you'd go to the mall, and you'd see a girl and be like, hey, what's up? But it was different. The teen stuff is different. And then working in a bar kind of shot me into at 17, becoming a busboy, you're starting to be around, girls, right? Or
women.
Well, there's still girls, but an 18-year-old hostess or a 19-year-old waitress, and you're starting to hang with them and talk to them more and flirt, and you get older, they start looking at you like you're an option.
Yeah.
And that's just people you work with, right? But but also you meet girls, you start going out more, you start going to bars.
Yeah.
But I mean I think it's a different era. I'd say there's eras for me, the teens. And then and then the early 20s for sure.
But
probably. And then my late 20s, those were fun.
But what age, or I guess, because obviously, in the teens, like everybody else, you're still figuring stuff out, still wondering how it's done and, trial and error and all this stuff. But at what age were you like, you know what, my game is on point, I am successful, I'm pretty confident in my moves.
Late 20s.
Late 20s? Right.
Probably when I turned 28.
Right. Oh, fuck, that's good.
27, 28, that's kind of where you kind of know, what.
Yeah.
You just kind of get a feeling or maybe it's confidence. For me, it was whatever.
Yeah.
A friend of mine Like I remember, maybe I was fucking older. I can't even remember now. But you know, we're just sitting on a bar patio, and like I think maybe I just got out of a relationship, or like I can't even remember. Maybe it was just that mode. I think it was a breakup, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and there was just a couple of girls just hanging out, having a beer at another table or whatever, and this girl had a really bright colored shirt on, you know, and looked good in it. And I was just like, I'm going to talk to her. And they were paying their bill. And I went up to her, you know, and she was like paying her bill. And I was like, tell me you're not leaving. And she's like, what?
That's an opener right there.
Absolutely. I'm like, you know what? I was really, I was hoping you guys can come over and, you know, have a drink with me and my buddy.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever. I can't remember exactly what I said or whatever, but yeah, they came over, and then shortly after that, her friend wanted to leave. Yeah. And she's like, well, I'm going to stay. Yeah. And then she hung out with us. My buddy left. The bar closed. We did after hours at the bar, and it was a good night. You know what I mean? Like, it was just out of nowhere. It's just, let's take a ride. Let's try. Let's take a shot. That's just one. Like, that's just one that, you know, I'm thinking of right
But
here.
in terms of, because like, yeah, you told me you just took a shot at this. But in terms of like, you know, every great player doesn't start off great. And what I'm saying is,
no, of course not.
No, what I'm saying is like, how many times did you have to get the no's, the shutdown, the rejects before you were like, you saw the turn of like success rate, like change from like, okay, you know what, I asked 10 girls out this night. 10 of them shut me down, but to the point where it's like, you know what? I asked 10 girls out, 3 of them actually, you know. And when did you like?
I'm sure I embarrassed the shit out of myself a few times.
Yeah.
You know, like where, especially when I was young, you know, because you don't know how to read somebody, or like, you know, you go out and then you see someone out. Yeah. Like, some people are different. Some people are good, just flying up, you know, first contact, like they haven't even seen you before. Yeah. And maybe that works, right? Or maybe that would work for people. And for me, it was more like, okay, okay. Yeah. And then like notice, and if you're in a lot of environments I was in, like maybe they could see me, and like if I got more than on one, like a look, you know what I mean? If somebody's looking over, checking me out, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to talk to her. Right. Like I'm going to make a comment. Like I'm going to move in on that. Yeah. I'm going to see what's there. Right. Yeah. But sometimes it fails. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes a girl's just looking to get a drink bought for her. Yeah. Like I've had that before where, you know, you go up and talk to a girl, and girl's like, well, you know, I don't know, you're going to buy me a drink? I'll be like, why don't you buy me a drink? Yeah. You know what I mean? But I have before, like I'll do it. Yeah. You know, like I've done it where, it's just, it's reading the situation. Yeah. But I failed. Hard.
So what was
many times I've been the guy, and then once you realize you're failing, like just make it fun. Just be like, really? Right. But I'm so in love. You know what I mean? Just make it funny and just crack a joke, and they know you're funny about it, and like there's nothing weird. Yeah. And just move on. Or even then, sometimes you salvage it. Like, you know, they realize, oh no, he is kind of fun. And like the wingman and stuff, you know, a lot of it comes from that, you know, being out with a buddy or buddies and you know, going in on, you know, like, oh, let's have some fun. What are you guys drinking? You know, and all of a sudden you're drinking some green glowy shit out of a test tube, and you gotta kind of put on, you know, you're outside of your normal comfort zone for sure.
So coming up though, did you have mentors? Did you have guys that you were like you hung around with that were like, you know what, that guy's raking it in? What's his secret?
I did.
Tried to emulate.
I did. I think that there was a couple of guys, even guys like that I knew. Yeah. You know, that were like the same as me, but like they had like they maybe had a better look, or I don't know, like, you know. There was a couple guys that like I wouldn't look up to them, but I'd be like, all right, you know what? Maybe that's I see what they're doing. Like I see how they let the game play out in front of them in a way. Like they don't force it. They're not overcompensating with too much conversation. And I'm a talker. Yeah. You know, so I realized like, you know what? But there's times when I wouldn't. You know, there's times when you know, maybe it's good to be a little more mysterious, a little more quiet. Yeah. You know, hear people out, or like just in a situation, just don't be an asshole, or just don't be a jackass. But there was a guy, one of my friend's older brothers.
Yeah.
This guy Kevin.
Nice.
He was a cool dude, and he still is. And he's a few years older than me, so like, you know, I'd be over at my friend's house on like, you know, I was a bit older though, you know, like 17, 18.
Yeah.
And I'd be over there and we'd be drinking beers or, you know, hanging out.
Yeah.
And it'd be, you know, getting late for us, but his brother's out going to the club or whatever, doing whatever. And fuck, man, this guy every fucking Friday night or whatever, whenever I was there, and it seemed to happen all the fucking time for this guy, he'd come home with a fucking different chick. Like, you know what I mean? And he'd be hammered drunk, like whatever.
Yeah.
And they weren't ugly.
Yeah.
You know, and he was a bit of a rock guy.
Yeah.
So he went to the rocker bars, right? And he would come home with these girls in like black fishnets and all whatever, looking good. And he would just mumble to us, be like, "What's up, boys?"
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Yeah, these are my idiot brothers," and you know, whatever. And then he'd be like, "Yeah, we're going." And then he'd take her into the basement, which was his room. And then, you know,
he was a player, man.
He I don't know how he was doing it at the time, right?
Right.
But being younger than him and seeing that, you look up to him and you go like, "Fuck, man, your brother's a lady killer. Like your brother's got moves."
Yeah. So to back up, like I guess bringing back to an origin story of Mr. Moves, what is, if you can recall, what is the first time you ever made a move? Like we're talking your first pickup line ever. What was your first official? Like, you know, going back to grade school, probably most likely, but I'm talking like, what is your first memory of pickup?
I can't remember like a specific line or like an incident where I went up, like, maybe at the mall, you know, like stuff like that. Like I remember in high school, you know, I used to sit in a doorway with people, like, you know what I mean? You're just fucking, your kids in school.
Yeah.
And I remember I saw a girl walking outside, like she went to my high school or whatever, and she had these I remember she had these pants on, like leopard or zebra. I called them the zebra pants. Anyways, it caught my attention.
Zebra pants,
I remember I was sitting inside the doorway, and she walked by, and I was like, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
And the guy, like a couple of my buddies are like, "Oh," and they knew who she was, and they told me, and I was like, "No kidding." And I'm like, "I'm going to date that girl." And they were like, "Oh, okay, buddy." And like they were talking, and I'm like 16.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, they're like, "Sure." And I'm like, "Why not?" And I'm like, "Why not?"
Yeah.
You know, why wouldn't she? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not some kind of like fucking weird dude or anything. Like, you know, I was into sports, you know what I mean? I played all this shit going, and so anyways, I remember I had her in a class. Yeah. Luckily, like, she was in one of my classes, and I traded seats with a guy.
Nice.
She was there. Well, it was funny. So she was in class, sitting, and I was always late. Like, fuck, I don't know, man. That's like my MO. And I got in late, and it was like our first class or second class or whatever, and maybe I skipped the first one, and they were all in there. And fuck, man. You know what? I can't remember all the details. Anyways, there was a guy sitting next to her, and I was like, "Hey, I need this seat." And he was like, "What?" And he knew why. He's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "I need you to do me a favor. I need to sit here." Yeah. And he was like,
"Was she there too, or
she's sitting next to him?"
So did she hear this interaction?
Everyone's hearing this.
Okay.
So I'm like, "Sit over there."
Yeah.
So he's like, "All right." I'm like, "Why do you want to sit here so bad?" Anyways, he gets up, he moves, and I sit down, and I turn to her, and I'm like, "Hey," she doesn't know who the fuck I am.
Okay.
And I'm like, "I'm Moves.
Yeah.
How you doing?"
Yeah.
And she's like, I tell her my name.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay." And she's like, "Why'd you want to sit here so long? Or why'd you have to sit here so bad?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is my lucky chair. This is my lucky desk." And she was like, why is it so lucky? I'm like, "Because you're sitting next to it."
Oh.
And so, it kind of like, it was like something like that.
That's
like,
fucking smooth for a first time.
And she was like, "Well, why do you think that's going to be lucky for you?" I'm like, "Because I'm like, I think
Yeah.
this is a good meeting. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of whatever, and
Yeah.
then I ended up dating her.
Huh. That
That was a complete debacle though, and like, you know,
yeah. That is a
It was
lot
a whole-
smoother than my first.
it was a whole thing.
My first. So like there was a we were at this camping thing, and it was boys and girls kind of dorm kind of thing, and then there was a
Was
there
it band camp?
no that
It
was
was just
some-
one time.
this
at
place.
band camp.
So this was like in the early 2000s. I don't know. I forget how old I
picture you
was.
being a PD.
No, Jesus, no. So we're at this camp. I forgot what it was for or whatever. And there was one girl that had been interested for a while or whatever. And then we were in the bunk. The bunk's basically just talking about, you know, how do you ask a girl out, right? Like this is I'm talking. I must have been like grade 8, something like that. So still elementary shit, right?
No,
so
nobody knew nothing then, man.
yeah, so anyways, all these guys start giving me like, you know, pickup lines like, oh no, you got to say this, you got to whisper, you got to do all these moves. Anyways, I eventually decide to pick one of them, right? And on the bus trip back, we're on the bus or whatever, and she sits up in front of me or whatever, and I basically just tap her on the shoulder, and then I was just like, and this is around 2000, 2001, so, you know, 9/11 is happening, right? So I'm just basically like this. I tap her on the shoulder, and I'm like,
I don't have to do it.
no, it does, because like I tap her on the shoulder, I'm like, hey, is your father a terrorist?
Oh god.
And then she immediately she immediately what are you talking? And I'm like, cause you're the bomb, right? And it was horrible. Like it was just like, what? Why would you say that? You know, whatever. You know, and then it was just like, yeah. So like that was
That's
like
so bad.
it was
like
bad.
I've heard that before.
It
and
was
I thought,
bad.
like that's just like
Yeah.
a joke, right?
So well, I used it out of all the thing, and so that was my first experience with pickup and all that stuff. Which, you know,
I'm sure I did shit, but
yeah,
In grade
Go ahead.
8,
yeah,
because you said this was like grade 8.
yeah,
I was so naive, like not like clueless.
yeah,
I had
Amateur.
I had a girl in her room,
yeah,
and I didn't do anything. I was young, right? But still, like I was just stupid.
yeah, but
like at that like fuck, man, what are you like?
That's like just when you're
13,
starting.
14,
no,
like,
that's just when you're
Yeah.
starting. But still, it was there. The opportunity.
some
was
people did stuff, you know,
Yeah.
but like they probably shouldn't have, or like, you know, I don't know. I didn't. I knew girls and guys that were doing shit back then,
yeah.
but like it wasn't me. I don't know. I just didn't. There was nothing going on there, or I was just
But-
inept.
Yeah, but that was like, you know.
But what's the first time that you actually made a move, like you know, a pickup line or a move to
Like
go
I
for
had
it?
an elementary school girlfriend. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it was just one of those things
Yeah.
that happened, and then
Yeah,
See, I wish I was more like moves with the smooth talking, but my approach has always been different. It's just usually straight up,
okay.
like, you know. And it's not the best method.
no, straight up is good now though.
But it's
It
not
is,
the
yeah.
best method because it doesn't work all the time. A lot of times, like I'll just slip a chick my number. It doesn't work all the time, but it works like maybe 20% of the time.
Okay, but
So my success rate isn't that good.
no, but what was
I
your
just
first
prefer just being straight
occurrence? Like what that you can remember? Like the first time you like, I'm gonna make a play for this girl, or whatever. What move did you use? And has that move even changed?
No, I still use it. It's the same thing. I slip the number.
Oh,
I still do it.
Really, I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, because it's not
I don't
like an
think I've
effective.
ever done that.
Yeah, because it's not effective. But like I just like it. Cause
when you mean slip a number, like what do you mean? Like you
I
just
have it written down.
okay?
I give it to a chick and be like, you know, if you're interested, give me a call. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
But it's easier if you can make the girl laugh, which I'm not that good at. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I guess so. But I don't. Okay, okay.
Like
Proven techniques. I want to get
I
into
think
proven
it depends
techniques.
who it is.
Phone. I feel like the whole phone number just thrown at it is kind of like a. I don't know. I think
just
you
like
need to
doing
build up a
this-
repertoire.
yeah, I
you need
just
to
do
build
it
up a
'cause it's
repertoire.
easy.
Like back in the day, it was
Yeah.
different. There was no phones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I'd say like for me, whatever I was saying, like I mean, I never did the whole, you know, your legs must be tired or your feet must be tired because you've
Yeah.
been running through my mind all day. Like
Yeah.
you know, like or nothing like that, or
Yeah.
like, you know, what is it? The other one, like, are you an angel?
Yeah.
yeah, something like that.
Oh no, there was
Or
one.
like, Did you fall over your head when you fell from heaven?
yeah,
or
something
some
like
bullshit.
you got a
like,
quarter because my mom told me to call
I'm never bringing my mom into that
or something. But anyways,
I'm never bringing my mom
hence
into a
why
pickup
these
line.
lines are clearly not working or don't work. Yeah.
But what were we saying? What techniques? I think it's tailored, man. I think it's tailored.
Is it specific to the girl, or is it? Do you think there is a general, general basic of like, you know what, every girl should be treat like has obviously you tailor to like the situation, but I'm just saying, is there a basic of like you making the first move always, you picking up the right signals?
Like,
or?
well, I mean, go ahead.
For me, like I like to cold approach.
Okay.
But when I cold approach, it's kind of like just direct instead of because some guys cold approach and they build like you said like a rapport and like
Yeah.
try to play off their emotions or whatever. But me, I just slip a number. But I think some girls will probably think that's creepy.
Well, I mean, when you mean slip a number, like, do you know these girls?
No, it's like if I pass by on the street or something.
Yeah, that's kind of
Like in a coffee shop. I've done it a few times.
you just give them a
Yeah.
number.
Yeah, I've done it.
But do you even get their name?
Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I've cold approach. That's how I got one of my ex girls.
Oh,
it was
really?
a cold approach.
So how did that work?
I
So
just went up to her,
okay,
and it was at school.
okay.
And I just told her, I was like, it was something like, I don't know what your situation is. I think you're really attractive. You think I can get your number? And she gave it to me.
Yeah, and that's a respectable.
That's actually
that's
yeah.
not bad.
That's not a.
I mean, like, there's probably like girls would be like, "That's lame," be like, "Whatever." It wasn't her, then it wasn't them, right?
Yeah.
But no, I don't see a problem with that. Like I've done that too. Like the older I became in like my 20s, like it changed. You know what I mean? Like it was no longer. It became a lot more like that, or it became a lot more. Like I went through the era where you're sitting at a bar or whatever, and like girl there, and you could all just be there. There could be like a bunch of dudes, man, and like she could be like two away, and like having a drink with friends or whatever, and then you just hear an order, or you just walk by her on the way for a smoke, going outside with a couple people, and if she's even looking your way, I'd be like, "Oh, you're trouble, aren't you? All right, watch out," and it'd be like, "What?" And just to get like a little bit of a reaction.
Yeah.
And then like back when I was younger, and then the girls would catch you like going to the bathroom or whatever, and be like, "Why do you think I'm trouble?" And be like, "You are." And then all of a sudden you're having a drink with them or whatever. They come up to you at the bar, and like now it's working. I'm getting some attention that I didn't have before, and I'm giving them a little more, and blah blah blah. I think everybody's a little different, right? Like. And every situation's different.
Well, like okay, so I feel like those examples are situations where like a bar or whatever, they're kind of set up for pickup. But what about cold approach? What's your like? And just to break it down for people that don't know what that is,
there was
approaching random women.
So another person like told me like this little move, and I did it, and I'm not proud of it. Like I'm not condoning it.
Okay.
And like anybody who knows me that hears this is gonna be like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
But it's funny. It works, and the success rate is high.
Then we definitely want to know this
it was very high for me.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'd say out of using it the tech or trying it probably like I don't know like 10 times or I don't know a bunch. Like I didn't count, but like I'm thinking like. And not that I went out with these girls after or whatever, but like the option was there.
Yeah.
But at the initial time it went well, and I got numbers or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, I was told, and then I implemented it. We called it the 30-second rule. So if you met a girl, you would walk up, and I know any girls listening are going to be like, "Oh, you motherfucker," and even guys would be like, "Lame," whatever. But it works. You walk up to a girl. And we actually know somebody that was there when it happened.
Oh, yeah.
You just walk up and basically just say, I would introduce myself. Like I would just say, "Hey, my name's whatever. I noticed you." Or I wouldn't even say that. I would say, "Quick, hi, my name's whatever. Pop quiz. Tell me your life story in 30 seconds." And then kind of just hold my hand up, like ready to go. And like I used to wear a watch, or you could use your phone, or nothing. And they kind of look at you like, "What?" And be like, "Quick, life story, 30 seconds." It's almost fun, right? Like it's like, what?
Yeah.
Out of all the dudes trying to pick them up and get attention and be like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm coming with this fucking weird little thing. And they fucking start telling you about themselves. And they start saying, "Well, my name's blah, blah, blah. I grew up in blah, blah, blah. I went to blah, blah, blah. I work here, or like what, and then normally they'll be like, what else? Be like, whatever, your life story, you know. And they tell you if you have a pet. Eventually, if they're interested, normally or whatever, they'll say I'm single, and it doesn't matter
Reveals,
if it's 8 seconds in, 16 seconds, 12 seconds. I always found it was like halfway. They would tell you their status.
Nice.
And I would end it there. I would stop them. What's up?
How often do they in your experience, how often do they say their status though? Like 100% of the time?
Yeah.
Or, yeah?
Or I think there was like maybe a couple that didn't, and then I was like, did you leave? I think you left out some details.
Okay.
But I had one, or I distinctly had one that like had a boyfriend, but told me she didn't. And then like, and then like I got so yeah, she told me single, and it turned into a mess, and then like I got stood up, but after talking on the phone for a while, like it was like, and then I gave her a second chance, and then got stood up a second time, and it was over, like, you know what I mean. And then she finally called me back and was like, oh well, you know, I didn't tell you everything, like there's kind of a guy.
Moves. After the life story or the 30 seconds or whatever, like how do you typically close that? Just straight up ask for their like.
Well, normally if things went well, they would tell me single, or I'm out of a relationship, or you know whatever, I'm on a break, or if they said single, I would stop it and I'd be like, well, okay, stop right there.
Yeah.
I would basically, I can't remember exactly now because it's been a while, but I would basically say, so can I get your number? So I can give you a phone call. Yeah. And normally they would give it to me. And then like they'd say, really? Like a actual phone call? I'd be like, yeah, actually. Like, and then we would turn it into like an actual phone call. Like,
nice.
So like I could hear your voice.
Yeah.
And then we would turn into that. And then normally I would get a phone number.
Nice.
I want to know, because like
surprisingly, that's the most awkward part of it, is because you end it.
Yeah.
And then you're going for the number. Like that's what you're doing. And then normally I would say, okay, awesome. You know what? I'll let you get back to what you're doing right now. Unless you want to come over and talk to me a little more. But I got your phone number and I'll give you a phone call.
I want to try this.
And there's no pressure then. Like I would leave. I'd go back to my friends or whatever. And I'd give them a phone call, and sometimes they'd wander over, or like, you know, they're motioning me back, and it's like, well, I want to talk to you more or whatever. And now, because they've given me the number, things are easy. Like, it's like, that's over.
Yeah. I
don't have to, there's no stress. I don't know, but I did employ that strategy for a little while, and it did very well. And then I kind of, like, I was using it when I was just dating.
That's so out of character for me, but I want to try it.
30-second life rules. But one thing, because you brought up...
Just think, if a girl walked up to you...
Which should happen
and just
more.
said, no, I'm just saying, yeah, obviously, I mean, it's different because like they're like, oh, who's this asshole?
Yeah.
But for you, you're flattered, you know? But if they did that and they said to you, you know, oh, well, tell me your life story in 30 seconds, and you bought into it and you were like, you know, whatever, let's say you find her attractive.
Yeah.
And you start doing it, and you say single, or you give her that status, and you know, like, and she stops you and asks you for your number, you're gonna do it. You might do it. So why not think that it would work the other way? Why not think like, oh well, if it would work on me? And increasingly, girls and guys are turning into like the same creatures, you know, like mentally, like why not? Yeah. You know, like why not? Fuck.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, because like you were bringing
it could be lame
about the, you know, you brought up the whole thing about their statuses and all this stuff. What do you do? And this is just because like I run into this almost 99% of the time. What do you do when you're trying to make the move and then you find out, or they reveal they got a boyfriend? What is your move to deal with? Do you just immediately go like next, whatever, or do you salvage?
I think there's two rules. Like if you're out and you're just having fun that night, like you're just out at a bar or club, or you know, whatever, and it's just like fair weather, you know, like hey, what's up? Like girl standing next to you, and then all of a sudden it's like boyfriend comes up, or in a talk, and it's like, all right, well, whatever. So what? You can't have fun? You know what I mean? Like if that's all that's happening, like I wouldn't shut it down. Yeah. Because like, what else am I doing? Like, you know, I could go talk to my buddies, stand on the other side, or he might be talking to her girlfriend. I'm like, all right, well now am I wingman in here? I'm keeping her occupied. I don't know. But I'm not going to end it just because I hear that. I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, she's out at a bar, she's talking to me or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not pushing it. Like, you can't, right?
I find, like, are you talking about like a club setting or bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think like if you remain playful in those situations,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Oh, no, for sure. Like, that's what I mean. It's like, there's no pressure. It's not like, oh, okay.
yeah, it's like
Then,
it doesn't bother you.
Unless they're like, two words out of your mouth and it's like, I have a boyfriend. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because that's what I'm trying to get. It's like sometimes, generally speaking, but like sometimes they will use "I have a boyfriend" even if they don't have a boyfriend. It's kind of
Could be
like
a shit
a
test.
block,
Well, then
right?
they're not
Or a
interested.
test.
Like, okay,
Right?
there's if they're not interested, they're not interested.
Right.
Like, and if you can't have a conversation to break that, initial thought quickly,
Yeah,
you're not going to. There's
Right.
no amount of talk that's going to make her interested. Like, you could, I'd
think
rather
some
know
guys-
right off the bat because that kind of tells me where I stand, right?
yeah.
Rather than you're going to sit there and talk to somebody and
I
then
think
it's
there are
be like,
barriers
oh,
that could be broken though if you're really good.
oh no, yeah, for sure.
really good.
No, those barriers are always broken. And,
Yeah.
like I know, like for sure. But it doesn't happen from like dwelling on the like. I don't know anybody that's gonna talk to a girl in that scenario and dwell on the guy or try to follow. You've been with them long. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you don't follow that.
It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, just have a good time. And if that's the person, you're going to be like, all right, well, you know what? Fuck, let's have a good time anyways.
Yeah.
And see what happens. But,
Yeah.
They can sense that energy, right? That like vibe.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, it's the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But I think that there's that. But I mean, like, the difference is if that's not the scenario, if it's somebody
Mm-hmm.
or, but that's not a pickup. Like, it's totally different if it's somebody that's in your orbit, and it's like, oh, well, she has a boyfriend, but she's, you see this person regularly, like maybe at work or through friends. It's a lot more difficult. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like, you can't do the same thing. You can, I recommend it. Just be fun. Just, have fun all the time. Like, just, and have, but have some good conversations, maybe go a little deep with the person, like whatever they want to do. But don't you can't trash their ideals, like of being with the boyfriend that you maybe think's an idiot or you don't know. Like, you can't.
You're not going to win against that.
You're not going to win. The guy's he's already won.
Yeah.
So, but like, you can't force a decision to you. Like, maybe not. Like,
No.
a long time ago, like there was a girl, she was in a relationship and superficially, very attractive. And I knew, everybody knew she had a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I just was friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I just became friendly and like, it was like a work, somebody through work, but not directly related to me. And I'd just be like, hey, I'm going to get a coffee.
Yeah. So did
Can I grab you something? And then just casually, around, see the person, be like, hey, how's your day?
Yeah.
And then just talking, man, for a while. And then like,
That's
then I didn't see them.
That's planting a seed, though.
Yeah, right. But then I didn't see the person for a long time, and then I actually did hear through the grapevine that she was single, that they had broken up.
Yeah.
So I saw her and saying, I was like, "Hey, how you been? I haven't seen you in a while." Yeah, great. Oh, okay, cool. So, fuck, I heard you got engaged. I heard you're getting married, and I already knew it was the complete opposite. And
tried to come off as a shocker, I guess.
And she was like, "What? No, not at all." And I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "That's crazy." I'm like, "You want to get a coffee?" And she said, "Yeah." And I think maybe the next time I saw her, I asked her out.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I wish girls picked up guys more, because that actually, I don't know. No, listen, that happened to me, but it was like in a weird way. I don't know how many times this happened to you, but one time a chick reached out to me via Facebook. This is via Facebook.
Yeah.
And she had mutual friends, whatever. But I think the reason she reached out to me is because at the time she planted a seed on me. At the time, I had a girl. I had a girl, right? So I think like that had a factor. Anyways, I broke up with my ex, and she messaged me again, and she was reaching out to me, and she ended up being my girl. But like I just saying, I wish like they took more initiative. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, but that's not like a total stranger.
No.
Yeah, so like that's somebody who knew you.
Yeah, but still, the point is,
but that's kind of like, okay, she did it through Facebook. Yeah, but I mean, if it was like a similar circle of friends, like how many, like that, yeah, that happens where like you're with somebody and then a friend of yours, if it's a girl or whoever, and then through, going out, it's like, oh, he's single now. And then you get talking and it's like, yeah, no, yeah. And then all of a sudden, like she's interested, or like, you find out, like, whatever.
Okay, yeah,
and that's more when you're younger, right? Like for the most part, because like that's when you're going out a lot.
Yeah.
So Facebook, yeah, that's one way. But yeah, I think it happens a ton, man. That's just people who know each other getting together after they realize somebody's single and they realize, oh, well, no, you're a good guy, like, or a good girl, and like, yeah, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Yeah.
That's like people who know each other getting together. I mean, but yeah, it's out of nowhere, I guess.
Yeah, like it was just like totally unexpected.
Yeah.
It was nice for me.
Yeah, sure, man. Getting picked up. That's.
Well, I mean, I think that scenario is a bit different than like, sitting somewhere. Like, I've had it happen where I'm sitting somewhere and then, somebody, a girl talking to you, and then it's like, okay, great. Well, you have a good day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Happened to me at work a couple times.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, do you have a pen? And like, it's like, nice. or like, before this is them. Like, oh, before I forget, do you have a pen? And I'm like, yeah, or no, or, like whatever. And then all of a sudden they grab my hand.
Yeah.
And now I have a phone number written on my hand, and it's like,
the legend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Like,
I guess it was just a vibe. Okay. I feel there's an anomaly, and maybe you can explain this anomaly, but
I'm from the mirror universe.
No. How is it that, like, and you know what, Dimes, as a single guy, you can probably attest to this, but how come it's more like when you're single, it's like a struggle to have approach girls approach you, but when you're in a relationship, just like he was, or whatever, and maybe because you've been through the battles, but like when you're in a relationship, you'll get girls coming and talking to you more, or you'll find that it's not a dry spell anymore when you're in a relationship. It's almost like there's no in between of like,
is it 'cause of pheromones?
It's like, yeah, is it a pheromone thing or?
See, I heard, and I don't know if this is actually true.
Okay,
is that when you're like in a relationship or with somebody, like you're constantly like in a state of like keeping them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like your body's doing something. Yeah. So you're giving off like this
vibe.
Yeah. Like, scientific shit.
Yeah.
So like other women are picking up on that.
Yeah. Because married men, there's stats about married men
too, right?
Married men thing like,
Well, there's also like,
there's that thing.
That they're not like a complete waste. Like somebody
I guess it's proven
said,
that
like,
they're,
hey, you're pretty good.
Yeah, I guess.
And they've done, they're like, and I think that's part of it, man. I think, but I think it's different for guys and girls.
Okay.
Because I think that guys, you know what I mean, for the most part, like you said, will go after whatever. You'll go after a single girl, a girl in a relationship, whatever. You're like, what are my options?
Yeah.
And some girls will be like, oh, he's taken? Well, then he's off limits, right?
Yeah.
But I think other girls, same thing. They might be like, well, but for all the different reasons. Like, they may be like, not about like an initial attraction, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think it's like stability and like, well, he's got a fucking job and like, or he's got a girlfriend and he fucking treats her good, like she's sticking around, or this guy's always seems to have a girlfriend. Like, what's so good about this guy?
Right.
You know what I mean? I only meet fucking assholes or losers, and it's like in their head, they're like, I need a guy like that.
Yeah.
And then it just happens to be that guy, or a guy like that.
Yeah. But do you think it's also like a state of mentality? Like, what do you call it? When you're in a relationship, your mind is off the hunt, right? So your mind is like not in that, I guess you could say, it's almost like you're not desperate, right?
Yeah.
You're in that like abundance of oh, I'm with somebody, whatever, and they can sense that. Whereas single guys, there's that like fucking, we're foaming at the mouth.
Well, it's like, like if you're in a relationship, it's like,
listen, I'm not.
You're constantly, like, okay, I don't know. The only way to think about it for me would be like you're constantly like, you're gonna eat some food, like you're not starving. You're not out there like a rabid animal single with your claws out going, I don't know where I'm going to get my next meal.
You know where
you're like looking, and you're like, oh, which is why, like, fuck you, when you're out and you're, single back, in the day, I'd be like, okay, well, what time is it? And then you start scanning like a bar. Yeah. And you're like, well, it's getting late. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to talk to anybody right now? Like, am I making a move on? Like, am I supposed to, like, what are we doing? Okay. Like, what am I doing tonight? Like, am I engaging, or am I just fucking getting a pizza slice and going home? Like, what's my move?
It's not
and make a move,
what was I gonna say? I agree with Special K though. Like, when I was in a relationship, definitely noticed
more attention,
more interest from girls, 100%. But not only that, like, even when I'm single, like, let's say I go to the bar, sometimes I'll go to the bar alone, just have a beer or whatever, right? Beer or two.
Yeah, me too.
I'll go there, go to the bar, have beer or two, and like I notice girls at the bar. I don't know if it's like they're curious, like maybe why I'm there alone, right? That happens too. I don't think I told you, but a chick actually bought me a shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't tell you that, but I think that happens. Like, they're curious, or like, why is this guy here alone?
Yeah. Oh no, I agree absolutely. Like, it's happened. Yeah, it's happened where I've seen that happen. I've been in that situation. It's not. I don't know. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's because maybe you're easier to talk to.
But I find those situations though, like, it's like the people working there. Like, in my experience, like, it's been like if I go and I sit at the bar and I'm having a beer. Or like, back when I would do that when I was younger, right? And like, I am looking like, my spidey senses are turned on, and I'm like, maybe she likes me. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm having a beer, watching the game, and then a bartender or a waitress keeps coming by, and then all of a sudden you start a conversation over some bullshit, and then they sit down, or all of a sudden now you're talking to somebody that is just there and they're alone, like, you know what I mean? They're working. And now you're kind of developing a little thing, and then you come in again, you see him again, and then it's like, oh, and then all of a sudden it's like, maybe I should ask her out.
Yeah.
Or maybe even if it's at night, I don't know. Like, maybe you want to get a drink, sometime or whatever.
But then I'm thinking she gets that a lot though. Does it matter?
Oh yeah, she gets it a ton. But see, that's where I was never one to push like a waitress. Like, I was never one to be like, hey, how you doing? Like, I was never that guy. If they want to talk, they see me, they're gonna talk. I might ask a question here or there, be like, well, it's fucking dead tonight, or it's fucking busy tonight, like, whatever. I just see, if they want to talk, they're gonna talk. Like, they may be like, yeah, what's your deal? So like, wait, you meeting people? And be like, no, just fucking wanted to catch a period of the game, have a beer, maybe have some chicken wings, whatever it was, or be like, no, my boys are all tied up, so it's just me, have a quick beer, chilling, whatever, how that goes, and then just how it is. But I think, like, I think it would be much harder if you were alone and like there was like, girls there, and like maybe there's a girl in a group of girls or having a good time that you could, maybe talk to, but I don't think they're gonna come up and engage if you're just by yourself. I think your odds are better if it was you and you two guys sitting there, and then for the people around to be like, hey, how you doing? And then all of a sudden you can have a conversation because you have somebody else because they have somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think, like, if you're alone, even maybe not if there's a group of girls, maybe so, but even if there's one girl, I think if you're alone, I think it's easier for a girl to approach or initiate you instead of you being with a group of guys.
Absolutely. I think it's different than what we were talking about though on like a pickup, because now like you're just there having a beer and like, oh yeah, if something goes down. But like if a girl walks up to you that doesn't work there, because like they're paid to walk up to you. So that's what I tell people all the time, because I've dated girls in the industry and like whatever. they're not flirting with everyone in like a real way. They have to serve you. They have to make, that's great. Like they're going to talk a little bit. They're going to be friendly and they're going to move on. You're going to know, like, that's what I tell people. You're going to fucking know if the waitress is interested in you. Most likely, you're going to feel it out. But if somebody like just walks up and you're at the bar, like if you're alone, like you're kind of looking at them, like it's up to them now. Like you can try to engage, but like I said, it's different. It's like your pickup mode's not there unless you're going to try it on your own, in which case, good. Yeah. I've done it, but I don't know. I've seen it all like that.
Yeah.
From like, dating girls in the industry and not. But the bars it's a weird place.
I want to break down what's the difference between a successful pickup and seduction versus like a complete failure, or like how, like, do you even view it that way, or do you think like it's just
there's different types?
Like
failure is like nothing. Like
so
it's a learning experience.
There's been two things. I've been told two things before you're gonna do pickup. One is some guys are like, you can't think the moment you see a chick or whatever, you should approach within the first 30 seconds. Like you gotta get it on quick. And then I've heard other guys say, well, no, wait, you want to confirm a couple of things. You want to make sure that she actually is interested. So look for signs. Do a little bit of whatever. There's a thing called the name test where you'll go up to her and ask her for her name. If she gives it to you but doesn't ask for yours, she's not really as interested. Versus if she asks for yours too, then at least there's a bit of a...
the games when you can just cold approach.
That is a cold approach.
You don't even necessarily have to get names right away.
Okay, but I'm just saying like confirming her attraction first before you actually go full phone number.
Here's the thing, right?
Just put it in their court and that's it. That's my style though. I don't know.
But is it working?
It's not like, doesn't have the highest success rate. I'm not saying it has.
I want high success. I want foolproof.
See, here's the thing.
30 seconds is fucking foolproof so far.
I think that when you put too much thought into it, or too much, I think it's
importance.
I think it like the smell of it just emanates.
Okay.
Like off of you.
Okay.
Like you can't be the guy over in the corner, just like feeling it out all night, and then like be creepy about names, and then like because then you're gonna be like thinking in your head and acting all fucking weird.
Right.
If you go up and you introduce yourself, and she doesn't. Like, we're gonna walk up and be like, "What's your name?" Like, that's I would never say that. Like, if she doesn't want to tell me her name, she's not gonna tell. That's why normally I would use my name.
No, but if she doesn't want to tell you her name,
but I might follow it up. If like, oh, really? Oh, what's your name? Like maybe it's loud or whatever, and be like, well, what's up? And be like, oh, well, no, I just saw. So what's your name? Like maybe you get to that, but like maybe she's not interested.
No, but okay, like for instance, you're talking about a bar and pickup situation, but I'm talking about, let's say you go to your grocery store, right? And you're at the checkout aisle or whatever, right? And then the girl's there or whatever, and you're like, oh, thanks, and then you ask for a name, like, oh, thanks, or be like, what's your name, or whatever, and then you be like, oh, thanks, whatever, and then you start up a conversation, but the name thing is a thing.
I'm not doing that shit.
You don't do names? Nah? Fuck. So then what's a good...
Not in that scenario. Okay, like maybe if I had a fucking big order and I'm like, oh my God.
Okay.
It's crazy in here. Like, and then you have like a long conversation while you're getting cashed out. Like, I mean, but if you're just buying a fucking, one pair of jeans or whatever, like, that's a pretty quick transaction.
Okay. So let's take you out of the... Because I feel like so far your success rates are in those settings. The bar, pickup, maybe even work. But I'm just saying... Let's take you out and let's throw you into a cash line, or let's throw you into a I don't know, like a general transaction situation. How are you picking up? I don't think you'd be doing 30-second life rule for that move.
No, right? And like that's kind of how I ended up where I am, man. I went into a store and then all right, I went into a store and there was a really attractive girl. Yeah. Caught my eye. I was buying something.
Yeah.
And I can't remember 100%. I don't think maybe we had like a very brief encounter, and I was like, okay. And I left, and then I was like, huh. Mm. You know what I mean? Like, but it wasn't, so there was a lead in. There wasn't that right away.
Okay.
But yeah, a little while later, I was back. She was there.
Right.
She was working. I'm in a line.
So you played the long game. It was almost a long game.
She didn't even serve me. She was helping somebody else. I was with another person, like, you know, next to the cat, you know, whatever. She was a manager. And then, but I was talking to her, like, basically through, like, the conversations, like, you know what I mean? Like, I engaged her over the counter and made a couple of comments and, you know, but not, like, nothing crazy. But she was interested, like.
How did you know she was in? Like, what were the indicators?
I didn't at the time. You know, she told me after, like, "Oh, well, no, I was wondering if you'd come back."
Okay.
And then, you know, it was cute, right? But no, I lingered a little. I talked to her.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like, maybe it's creepy or not creepy, but at the same moment, like, she was getting off work.
Yeah.
So she was like, she was trying to get out of there, and I knew she was trying to get out of there, and I was doing my transaction, and she left.
Okay.
So like that happened, and then she left.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit. She took off. And so I'm there. I'm paying still, whatever. And then she came back. She forgot something, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, I forgot something, whatever. So she ran back inside, and I'm like, huh, okay. So I'm like, well, fuck. I guess, like, you know what? This isn't happening today. So I went outside, and I'm like, but she said she's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes off a little creepy, but I was parked right out front of the store, like where I was.
Yeah.
And I just chilled for a second. I had to say, I lit a smoke.
Yeah.
And then she came out, didn't see me, started walking away. And I had already got her name from in the store, right? We had already done that pleasantry.
Yeah.
So I kind of yelled at her.
Yeah.
And she looked back, and like I jogged over the little distance between us, and I was like, you know, hey, so this is going to seem, you know, whatever, but, and then I asked her out, right?
You know what? Your pickup or that strategy is pretty much almost like a copy and paste from Rocky 1. He went to the girl's store every day.
Kind of.
You know, talked to her, dropped a couple of funny, weird jokes.
Yeah.
And then one day waited for her to close up the shop and was like, hey, yo, Adrian.
Yeah, okay. I never really thought about it.
You know
like
what?
That. Yeah, I never really thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's kind of a...
But that's how that happened, right? Like, it just happened like that.
Right.
And then, like, and then I find out later, you know, that she didn't really have to take the item that she said she forgot.
Right, okay.
She came back because I was still in the store.
So she had a bit of a move on her
So there
end.
there was already something there.
Yeah,
so like that's what I tell people is that, like, you know, there has to be something on their end. You just can't. They're not. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that, like, is it important to find that the attraction level on their end? Right,
well, or if you want them to, you know,
like, or are you gonna just straight
you
up
want them to want to give you a number, or talk to you on the phone, or meet up with you, then like,
because a lot of guys I know, you know, and you know, a lot of guys I know will be like, "Oh, give me a number," and like just like beg for a number, right, or whatever, and it's like,
well, if that works for them, then
no, it probably doesn't.
Okay, good for them.
Yeah.
The only thing, like, is if you classify, like, what you were saying, like, what's successful for people. I wouldn't say that, like that. Yeah, of course it was, but it was different. You know what I mean? But like the other things that like turn into relationships or whatever, like I think it would be successful for anybody if you got the phone number. You know what I mean? Like it depends what you're going for. If you're looking for a late night, you know, back to your apartment, you know, at the end of the night at the bar, or like, yo, you want to get out of here and come back to my place?
Yeah.
You know, then obviously a phone number is not successful for that person. They're going to be like, well, I got her number, but she didn't want to do anything or whatever. Okay, those people, then for them, for that night of getting some action, it wasn't successful.
Okay.
But for, I'd say most people or a lot of people, they would figure that, you know, engaging that person and getting like the number and then having, you know, that, like that is what I would call pretty successful.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you can get in and not get rejected and get a phone number and then, you know, take it from there, like You know, if anybody goes out and they say, "How'd your night go last night?" Pretty good. You know, yeah. What was good about it? Well, fuck, man. Met a girl, asked for a number, got her number.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a good night.
I think a number is the
other guys would be like, "Oh, I want to take her. I took her back to my place." Like, okay, well, great. Like,
no, but I think the number.
But I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, is the base of a successful pickup like that. Like that's kind of what you're from initially meeting somebody. Getting a number is kind of your main goal, right? I mean,
the other one's always an option, right? Like,
it is,
get a number,
right? But
then that's all. That,
it's almost like
basically, if you get the phone number, everything at that moment is in play.
Yeah.
Unless you take yourself out of the equation, or she's leaving, or you just know it's not happening. Yeah, everything's in play.
Yeah.
If you get the phone number, like you're that far in, like she's that interested that you're getting a phone number.
Yeah.
That she's willing to let you talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Maybe if you're not going home right away, maybe she does end up at your place or you go back to her place. That's very, very possible. That is a byproduct, though, of the engagement, but if you just got the number, that's pretty successful. It's to be continued, in 3 days.
Yeah. Right? So, Dimes, I want to know, because on your end, you just give your number. Why don't you just reverse it and ask for a number instead? When you're in these situations,
that's kind of what I was thinking. Like
why not just ask
just be like, hey, right? What you're saying is pretty good, but why not just be like, well, I'd like it if I could get your phone number.
I have. That's how I ended up getting my ex-girl. I asked for her number.
But you said your move is to give them
the number first.
That's majority of the time.
But it worked with your ex-girl.
Yeah. So why don't you go with something?
So why would you switch away?
I don't know. I just think I switched it up. That was a rant. Listen,
that's kind of like a pitcher throwing like a pitch that strikes everybody out, and then he's like, "I'm going to change it up," and he gets blocked every time, and not going back to what works.
I think it's because it's like I think I do that because it's when it's a stranger. It's just easier. I just go up to them and give them the number.
Wouldn't that be harder?
No. Well, for me, I think it's just give them the number.
How do you already have it written out?
Yeah. Like, I'll write it down on something.
Yeah, that's creepy, man.
Well, that's what I do sometimes. It works.
Like, if you got a business card, cool, but that's impersonal. Like,
yeah, there's got to be a bit of a...
Yeah, I know.
Remember, you want them to volunteer their number because that's showing that they're actually interested. If you just give them a number, they'll be like, oh, maybe he wants to sell me some products. I don't know. It's not a very... The intention's not there.
You have to make, I'm not saying make, but it would be better if they want to give you their number. And then, but wasting, because then, it's just a thing. Instead of them saying, oh, well, some guy asked me, or, even you specifically, if you went out and, there was a girl there and that happened and you walked in another day and she's there again and she'd be like, oh, fuck, there's that guy. He gave me his phone number. And, it turns into that mess where you walk in and you're just that guy who she didn't give the phone number to. It's not as bad. To me, the rejection, if she says, I'd rather not, it's not as horrible, if you ask for the number and the girl's like, I don't think my boyfriend would appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, also, dude, I wouldn't give a number, man. What if she gives a number to one of her coworkers who's like,
why? I never thought about that. Fuck are you talking?
No, okay, this guy, he basically
coworker.
Let's say he's at a Starbucks and he sees a girl he likes. He walks up to her, he's like, "Oh, here's my number," and throws a piece of paper at her. She's gonna grab that piece of paper and be like, "That guy's weird." Oh, hey, Sally,
you think they're doing that?
Hey, Sally, you want this guy's number? And then boom, toss it around. Versus making it.
Yeah, that's probably never gonna happen.
Yeah. Making it more personal. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I was just thinking more along the lines of even if she's like whatever, puts it in her. Whatever, and then the boyfriend gets it, and all of a sudden you got an angry boyfriend calling you.
Yeah, there's that too.
But I don't know. It works sometimes, but I don't do it that often.
But even then, in the heyday, that's where it's just be like, whatever, fuck you, dude.
To ask you, or your opinions.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get a number, and the girl seems interested or whatever, but then I'll text them, and then I just get nothing back.
Yeah, then
they don't like you.
Well, they thought about it and they're like, no.
Yeah, but why? If they don't like you, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But why give the number then? I can never figure that out.
It's because maybe today they're interested, everything's fine. But depending on who they are, maybe they went out. Depends. I don't know. Maybe it's how long you're waiting before you text.
Well, like a couple days.
Yeah, so like maybe they went out the fucking very next day. And maybe like something went down. Maybe they met somebody else, and maybe that person didn't wait a couple of days, and they fucking gave you the, and then or whatever. Maybe an ex, or maybe she's still got a boyfriend.
Or maybe she just broke
there's
up
a
that
boyfriend,
day, yeah.
or maybe she's going through something. Like who knows, right? But you don't become good. Like fuck, man. I always sports analogies. Like a Major League Baseball player is like he's very good in what he does. Like even the fucking guys that are worse on the team are the best.
Yeah.
All through their life, they're probably the best player in the world in their neighborhoods or whatever. But they didn't get good. Like it's not like you just walk up and start hitting 96 mile an hour fastballs. You got to start small. You got to practice, man. It's practice. Like Allen Iverson, man, practice. We're talking about practice.
Practice. Yeah.
For some people they can just do it.
Yeah.
For others, you just you meet people, you ask them out.
Yeah.
If they call you or give you the number, then great. If they don't, you go, okay, well, you're still. It's engaging, it's in your interpersonal skills. It's there, fuck them, like if they don't want, this is what I don't understand, man. And like, I've had my moments and like when I was young and, I like to think now, like I've kind of learned more. Why do people want to be with people who don't want to be with them? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. Like, if the other person, no, it's not easy. It's the hardest thing ever. If you if you're interested in somebody, but they aren't interested in you, why dwell on it?
Because it's that human nature of
fruit.
Yeah, what you can't have. What
I'm
is
saying
more
fine,
valuable.
Fine,
right?
sure.
Yeah.
File it off as if that ever becomes available. Yeah, sure. I'd like to. Have an opportunity to take her out or whatever. But why? People think about it, and it's like wow, what if they have a boyfriend, like you said, and it's like, well, fuck, they have a boyfriend. Like if it's in a bar, everything's fair game to me, or it was right now, not so much. Yeah, but the opposite, if it's just like if you see somebody all the time and it's like, well, they have a boyfriend, it's like, well, fuck, you gotta wait. Like they're not going to leave the guy for you, most likely.
Yeah, but let's see, like,
or at least not if you're a good guy. If you want to be a dick, we could talk about that whole thing. Yeah. Maybe they're into that. That's but what I'm saying. Then it's a girl maybe you don't want to be with.
Yeah.
Right? Dimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What? You've been there.
I think we've all been there at least.
Like a chick has a boy. Like, okay. What happened to me was I told you I cold approached the chick, got her number and everything, chatted her up on text or whatever, phone call.
Yeah.
Later on, after I got the number, then she tells me she has a boyfriend.
Yeah, okay.
So at that point, I was just like, fuck it.
Right. But then what transpired immediately? Like, did you continue talking to her?
Yeah.
Did she become your girl? Did she become your girl?
Yes.
That is what we call monkey branching.
Well, there was a monkey branch going on there for sure. But see, that's the thing where, like, yeah, in the moment and in that scenario, like in your age and like, what you're into and what you wanted, you didn't give a fuck. You're like, yeah.
But that is a red flag.
But it's a major red flag because that's her mentality. So she is doing it to so that's the thing, kind of like, well, she could do it to you, right? But like, I'm not gonna dwell on that aspect. But yeah, whatever they're willing to do,
but was
they can repeat, right?
Was the right thing? Was there a right or wrong thing to do though? Like, once I find out the boyfriend information, is it wrong that I pursued that?
That's a morality thing.
I think a lot of guys that I know, like a lot of my friends, would be like, no.
Yeah,
that's not a bad thing. You know what? You're not forcing her to do anything she doesn't want to do.
Yep.
Which means if she wants to break up with the guy or cheat on him with you or whatever, that's on her. Mm-hmm. However, a lot of my boys that I know because of our growing up history or whatever, they would never date her.
Yeah. See, that's where I became an idiot.
They would never date her. Yeah. If they were single, they would go, okay, you know what? Well, you want to hang out? Sure, let's hang out. But they would strictly be just having fun with her.
Yeah, you wouldn't
know
take
what
it
I mean? Like,
seriously.
yeah, they might go to a movie and have fun, whatever, and do those date nights or whatever. But they would never label her. They'd never be like, you're my girlfriend. Like,
did you bring her home?
that's
Did you bring her home to mom?
Why are you asking me this?
No, because like.
I did, but like I said, like this was just inexperience. So
Yeah,
well,
fair enough.
Dating
Yeah.
her, so like whatever. But like but you know what? You can look at it on the flip side that you don't know necessarily what they're doing. Sometimes they won't even tell you.
Yeah.
So like you could date a girl, right? Like I knew a guy, not me, but I knew a couple people where like they start dating a girl, and then like they find out way later that the girl actually had a boyfriend.
That's actually
or
true.
whatever, and then like they never found out about it, and then she broke up with the boyfriend and was just dating him.
Yeah.
And then he never knew until like way later,
where
he didn't even put label. Nobody called each other anything until months later when it's just obvious your boyfriend girlfriend.
You know what?
This
chick was a slut, but the good thing is she was an honest slut.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. What's an honest one?
A slut with a heart of gold.
Being upfront about what they're doing, right? A lot of chicks won't tell you.
I can. You know what? Okay. I absolutely respect that. Yeah. Because like how many? That's well, it's funny because I've seen this conversation happen.
Yeah.
Where basically, like, no girl, like, I mean, is she gonna admit it? Like, no, but like I've seen people say, well, you did this and then this and then this. So at what point were your actions good? And they're like, okay, well, maybe I was being stupid or whatever, and be like, but you were also getting down with this guy and then this guy, and then like you like this guy didn't even know was your boyfriend, and then like you fucked him over. Yeah. What does that make you? And it's like then they get real angry. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, no, you can't call them out on that shit, right? Because
but like you said, honest.
Yeah.
Those ones aren't honest with themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I know a couple and they're not honest with themselves.
Yeah.
Like they just deny it. Like, well, no, I'm not. And it's like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, you are. I'm like, it's not my place to tell you anything. It's not my place to say. Like, but other people, like everybody I'm just,
oh man,
I'm just thinking that like the honesty. What's honest?
Did she get points for that? Like, did you consider those points? Like, well, you know what? At least she was honest about.
Well, honest about what?
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about it already.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things. I mean, what if
like you're dating a chick, you find out that she has a boyfriend, as opposed to you're dating a chick and she just tells you straight up.
Yeah. Are you giving them like? Do you treat them differently, or are they both in your eyes? Not girlfriend material.
I think they're, man.
Or do
you have to be really, really cool, like like fucking really have things in common, man. Like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like basically, yeah. Like it's got to really drive that aspect to be like, fuck.
Yeah.
She's so fucking cool. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't.
Or you don't even think about it because it's just like getting buried with the good. Like, like man, like I don't know. Like
either way, I could never wife that.
It's not about wife.
It's not a conscious decision. Like, what if it could be years later, like 3 years later, you're like,
yeah,
maybe.
Shit, I'm still with this honest slut. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying.
I don't know. Maybe
at that point, you might want to start thinking about putting a ring on it. Like if you're that deep into a move like that, like,
yeah, maybe.
Like
not my thing though.
What if like 3 years down the road she says like, I did a porn once,
buddy.
That's
listen, Mr. 100. Okay,
listen,
we know where you stand.
Yeah. No, I don't.
I give him shots.
Well, yeah, but your thing.
Yeah.
Like, so.
No, okay. I had an analogy before that I told Dimes. Getting into dirty relationships or messing with girls that are just obviously not. It's similar to like boxing. You're gonna get punched that first time, and you're gonna be like, "Fuck, it really was bad. I don't want a thing." But after a while, you're gonna get punched so much that you're gonna be used to it. Eventually, you're gonna learn how to dodge those punches.
Well, we talked about that. Fire, right? And,
yeah.
Certain things. That
so I'm still in that. I'm still in that taking the shots. Yeah, I'm taking shots, but I don't know, man.
No,
eventually
you're
I'll dodge
always
them.
taking shots. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't end. Like it never ends until you just don't break up. Like once you get into that mode,
Yeah.
and then the shots ended because you're not out there. You're not getting in the ring.
Yeah.
You're not getting in the ring anymore, right? You're holding your title belt for a little while, or no, not even. You've
Yeah.
vacated it.
Yeah.
You've
Hall of Fame. You've retired. Yeah.
you've stepped away from the ring, right?
Yeah.
And then you become a color commentator. But when you're in there, you're getting in the ring, man. You're gonna get beat up.
Yeah.
But like that's what people like, that's what you guys like, it's like, it's not all success and it's not all failure. There's some middle ground and it's all different. Like, there's guys out there that would be like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And I'd be like, then your tactics are different,
Yeah.
But some guys don't acknowledge their failures. You know what I mean? They're just like, well, whatever. There's nothing going on. Or like, nah, man, there was nobody there. Like, fuck these people. And it's like, well, no, it's because you failed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because nobody was interested in you there or whatever, and you didn't. That didn't happen, right?
Right.
I know people like that where they'll be like, whatever, like, no, his strategies are, and I'm like, cool, whatever. You're that type of person, and I know girls that would be like, yeah, your strategies, like, you're a pussy, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, well. You're not for me, you're not. You're totally not that. Like you're operating at like a fucking immature level.
Right.
So have fun.
Right.
Do that shit. Tinder yourself.
Yeah, that breaks the ice nowadays.
Well, you know what, and that's
Left,
what I
right,
said.
left,
Is
right.
that, you know what? It's I mean, people got I guess people do go on dates, right? Like they'll go out, but I mean, like from what I gather, a lot of that is like predetermined. Like it's like, well. It's all based on appearance anyways, right?
It's,
so, basically, if they showed up and don't completely fuck yourself and torpedo yourself and like having like 2 drinks at a restaurant or a bar or going out, if it's one of those kinds of dates and you don't live too far and you said, well, I don't live too far. So like they're going to go back to your place.
Yeah. See, the reason why I think pick up skills in guys or in guys today is kind of like hindered is because Tinder has taken away that reason to develop those skills. Like
let those people fucking just burn together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because there's girls out there. You know what I mean? Like we know, like there's girls like know people, I know people, like you know what I mean? Just people that we know.
Yeah.
That they're against that. Like they don't want any part of Tinder. Like they're like, oh fuck no, like fuck that shit.
Yeah.
That noise is nuts. Like, fuck, no way.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that are good, probably good. Like, those are probably the ones you want to, target, right? Like, overall.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just one of those scenarios that let them burn. Like, let them end up with each other, man. That's the whole point, isn't it? Like, why interfere? It's like one of those things. If you don't understand it, then...
Right.
Like, I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Let them.
Because we've talked about that, too.
Yeah, let that pool of people or whatever stick to each other. Just like how, I don't know, like, gothic people stick together. I don't know if that's a good example, but, like, it's like it's like, you know what I mean?
The goth culture.
Yeah, like, it's just a culture.
Let the goths hang out.
Just hanging out in the dungeons waiting for something to go down.
You know what I mean?
No, but I'm just saying there's a large percentage of the dating pool that's on Tinder, and as a guy who's not really using that product or that way, it's like, how do you access those girls because they're so used to the left and right swipe?
I'm not
right.
I'm not
They'd probably be
saying
in shock.
I'm not saying that everybody on there isn't capable of holding their own or like hasn't developed the abilities or the skills or the knowledge to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's just, I think it's interspliced, right? It's the other people with none of that just go on it, right? And it's just, those are the people that are just like the dumb ones that are just like, oh, so...
Yeah, the best profile.
Like, it's just hookups, right? Like, they're just, that's what they're on there for, 110%. And
you know what the number one line I see in Tinder profiles, and they'll always put it near their bio, is like, not interested in hookups. Do you not see that in almost all of their things? Yet they're on the one fucking thing where it's like,
well, no, they're not interested in hookups unless they're interested in hookups with the right person.
See?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly,
yeah. So, like, how many times do you see those?
All the time,
like,
man, all the time.
not interested in hookups.
Like,
Not interested in
Tinder
hookups.
is for hookups, though.
And that's what,
That's the funniest part, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, just because we're talking about that is because we do this and like whatever.
Yeah.
And I read the newspapers. And like now more than ever, like I like those little fucking like the little comments like, oh, I was on a date, and like, you know, I'll be like, okay, I want to hear that what this is, you know, what's like, you know, these fucking life, life, whatever.
Yeah.
And like, fuck, man, for a while it was like girls writing in, and it was like, oh, he was great until he wasn't. And I'm like, gotta read this. I gotta fucking hear your fucking story.
They hook you.
Can I fucking, before I even click on the link, I fucking know it's an online date from Tinder, and fucking, oh, I met blah, you know, I met blah doing, you know, or when he was great and we went out and we had drinks and appetizers here and it was awesome. And I gave him a second date. And I'm like, cool, you didn't just hook up on the first date.
Nice,
all right.
yeah.
Because she said, like, I'm not looking, like, I'm looking for a relationship, right? Or whatever. But then later on, it's like, yeah, I met him online, or I met him on Tinder, and I'm like, okay, well, what's Bob's problem? And then it's like, oh, well, the first date went really well, and the second date went really well, but he kept talking to me with innuendos, and text messages were very sexually charged. And I'm like, yeah. What the fuck? Okay, first of all, even if it's not Tinder, that's very possible, right? For somebody that's feeling an attraction, that's thinking they want to get down. Is that fucking bad? She's bitching. Anyway, okay, I'm getting worked up.
No.
First of all, she did it online. Second of all, she's getting upset that this guy fucking, you know, is sending innuendos, you know, at her through
Making
text
moves.
messages.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, you know, haha.
That's why I feel like half the time you got to walk on eggshells because you don't know what move to make.
In her little article, she says she texted him back saying, you know, hey, I really like talking to you. Like, the gist of it is like, you know, but like, I don't really want to talk about like, you know, sexual. Like, she was basically telling the guy, like, I don't want you taking it there. I don't want to take it there yet. Right? Not yet, or I'm not ready. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to set up another date.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, the guy fucking like just was like, you know, short with her after that.
Good on him.
You know, it was like, cool, whatever. And then she tried to set up a third date or second date or third.
I think he pulled,
And he pulled the ripcord. You know what I mean? Like, he was like out.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
here's the thing. When
he obviously was online and he's looking for something, and he fucking put up with 2 dates. And then he's doing like the little, from what I gather, or from what I took from it, like maybe the guy was being a dick about it.
Maybe.
But, you know, it seemed like he was doing innuendo talk, and she wasn't having anything of it. And I'm like, so really, what are you looking for?
Here's the thing. When
like,
two people when two people go on a date, there's kind of an agreement that it's going to lead to something more, right? And I think it's the guy's job to fucking get it there, right? So he did this now that's the only thing. We don't know his level of innuendo, like, you know, I mean, obviously, if he should have done it in person rather than text or whatever. But, like, if he's making moves to get it there and she's putting it down, next it, man. That ain't a...
Would it be easier?
Yeah.
If everybody just had sex right away?
It'd be more fun, but...
No, but I'm like, honestly, like, if it was just, like, like our society's way of just figuring it out. Basically, it's like, if you ask somebody out and they say yes, like, oh, can I get your number? Yeah. And then you talk on the phone. It's like, okay, so like Friday, you want to hook up and, you know, go out for drinks? It's already assumed that it's happening then. There's no bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Like, you'd have no, I'm just throwing it out there as like a devil's advocate for the other side.
Yeah.
Is that then everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
It's the opposite page. Like, it's what people expect more to the end, and then you make, you know, a decision.
Yeah.
But it just get out of the way. wouldn't you?
That never happened though.
No, but wouldn't it just be so much easier for you?
Of course, yeah.
No, because then it's either maybe the girl never wants to see you again.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing.
Or maybe they're like, so how about tomorrow? Like maybe we could go, and then it's like, oh, I think you'd see a lot of relationships develop super fast.
Yeah, but here's the
So
thing.
all these people that are crying about online dating, just basically, there should be no games, and everybody online on Tinder should be part of the rule of Tinder.
Yeah.
If you get feedback, if they get feedback that you didn't put out on the first date, you're kicked out.
Yeah.
You're kicked off.
Maybe there's an app like that already.
That's it.
Maybe
you're done.
Yeah.
Just that's the whole game. Is just if you
meet up and fuck right away.
Done.
Yeah.
It's over, and then if you, I think you'd have it'd be a lot easier because everybody's going in with the same idea.
Yeah.
Rather than a girl and a guy pretending to be nice for a couple dates, or it'd be like, well, how long am I going to wait her out? 3 dates?
Right.
4 dates, 2 dates, 1 date. Like, which one is this one going to be? Is she going to come over tonight, or am I going to have to meet for drinks again? Or are we going to have to go to the fucking carnival? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yo, FYI, side note, I just thought about this. I've met a few chicks online, and I think some of them just like it went nowhere, like too many games, or it was straight up dinner. Like I think like literally some of those chicks are on there for a free dinner because that's happened to me several times.
Yeah. That's
just like there's no filter with those kinds of people, right? Like I wish you could rate that, like rate the user.
oh yeah, you think they're just like trying to get like
free meal.
That happened.
Maybe they just want to be able to sit down and talk, or they're
no,
foodie.
dude. Listen, I took her out to Pearl. You know
I think
Pearl?
foods. I do.
Pearl restaurant, right?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I know where that
is. Yeah, and then I picked her up, took her there, chilled, brought her home. Never heard from her again.
Okay, but how was the date overall, though?
It was good, man. I was thinking about it. I'm like, what did I do to turn her off? Nothing that I could think of.
Did you guys get drinks?
Alcohol, no.
Did you guys do any activities like, play a game or?
No, there was like a festival or like some kind of.
Right. But did you do anything fun?
Not really.
Maybe she didn't think it was a good date.
Well, I don't know, man. She said she was hungry. I was like, all right.
I don't think you went on a date. I think you just went to go grab food with a chick. I think that.
But she said she was hungry after you met up.
No. Like we planned to go to a restaurant. She said I was hungry, or she was hungry, right? So it sounded like that was the first thing she wanted to do was go eat. So I was like, okay.
But like she didn't just bounce right after the meal.
No. We chilled out. Like we just walked around.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it sounds like you had a date.
Okay.
And you had dinner first.
Yeah.
But maybe she just wasn't feeling it.
But you know what the weird?
Like if she said like absolutely, I'd like to see you again, or give me a call,
Yeah,
and then like
happen.
nothing.
No.
Like
Maybe
okay,
she did,
I'd be
but
like
this was-
that's a little thrown. That would throw me off. But if like you just kind of end it,
No, but
and be
listen,
like, all right,
to
cool,
be
like
honest, I don't-
maybe we'll be in touch.
I don't remember what she said. This was a while ago. Like I don't remember what she said. Like we'll be in touch or whatever. But like I'm thinking it went well. Generally, I have a sense of like if it went bad or went well. Anyways, I'm thinking it went
I'm
well.
questioning that sense right now.
Because, dude, guys tend to have high projections. Like, they'll be like, oh, man, yeah, I freaking talked to her, so things are going good. But, like, no, you got, like, if she was, like, was she touching you in any way? Like, touch her arm, legs? Did she look like she was having fun? Did she smile a lot?
Yeah, like I was making her laugh. But we didn't go to like Wonderland or anything.
They
crazy.
went out, and it doesn't mean she didn't.
Yeah.
It just maybe wasn't like she went. Who knows? But how did you meet her?
Online.
10, yeah.
So you can't put too much into that, man, because there's a chance the next day she's hungry with somebody else.
Yeah, no, I have a new rule.
You know what I
for
mean?
that. Like it's generally like something like
Hungry for the
coffee.
big sausage pizza.
Something small. Like first dates, I always do something small. Now I don't go all out and spend all this dinner money.
Okay.
No, dinner's too soon.
Yeah, that
Like,
was stupid.
Well,
Wait, I want to get into the dating.
I think
detail.
dinner you feel out. Like if it's
Yeah.
like if it's like an actual like I think you got to gauge it, but like I'm more open. Like if you were gonna do a like drinks at a lounge, you know what I mean? Like something like that. No pressure, nice and easy, or like not even a lounge. Like go to a fucking like a nice restaurant that has like a lounge area, like the bar area, and just go sit there. You want an appetizer? You have an appetizer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of want to get a spectrum of like, a little, just for lack of a better word, novice versus experienced dating dates. So, like, for you, I want you to describe your perfect date, Mr. Dimes. And after he's done moves, I want you to go into your date. And I just want to see what the spectrum of, like, level of dating is. Like,
Wait, why though?
I just want to see, because, like, I want to see.
I don't know. I don't know if you have that, because I think
Every
like
date's different, man.
yeah, and it's like every girl's different. Like, I mean, you know, like I could say that I've had like 10 perfect dates.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And like, not all of them end up with me, you know, and a girl in a bed. You know, like
Yeah.
or in you getting hot in the car. I mean, yeah, there's, you know, that for sure.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's not like a perfect date, or like they thought it was a perfect date. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
No, so like okay, okay. So I'll go with mine, because like whatever the formulaic date is, you start off with a drink, a coffee, depending on what they're into. Because if they're not into alcohol, whatever, but you start off with the drink, right? Because that's cheap, that's easy for you to pay for it, right, and all that stuff. Once you're done with the drink, then I like to go somewhere to do something fun.
If it's going well.
yeah, the thing is, if it's going,
If it's going well, if it doesn't, then yeah, it ends there and then you're done. But I'm just saying, if it goes well,
if it's going well, be like, hey, you want to go bowling?
yeah,
Or whatever.
bowling, darts, fucking
No,
Dave and Buster's.
whatever it is.
Dude,
Dave and Buster's a spot, and then once you go to that place, you get all fucking, you know, have fun, all what thing, maybe hopefully some touchings involved or whatever.
But you
know.
but it could go the other way, man. You could be completely misread. Like, if you, it's good to have an idea.
Yeah.
But if you go into this thing fucking half cocked up, fucking like, okay, I'm gonna do drinks, and then we're gonna go here, and then we're gonna go here, and like an itinerary. Like, it's nice to have a loose idea
Yeah.
on date one, but it should be fucking easy breezy. And like, let's say you go have drinks, and you're like, all right, well, and you think it's going good. She says, oh, well, this is going really well. Like, you know, I'm having a fun time with you. And you're like, great, you want to go, we could get out of here. You want to go, you know, bowl or whatever? And then what if she's like, how about we just go for a walk?
Then we'll go do that. Yeah,
You
obviously.
know, or
yeah.
whatever. Like, it's just one of those things that, you know, you can't be set into.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're sitting on a fucking bench, you know, somewhere talking, or you're walking your ass off.
Yeah.
And then you're going to learn, like, oh, fuck.
As long as they're having
She's
fun, they're
outdoorsy.
good.
No, that's the thing. I think the key factor is that it needs to be fun. That's one of the key factors. If you're not having fun, then I don't know, man.
Well, I think
Like-
the idea is to have fun with the other person in whatever setting, you know. So
Yeah.
why, like, if you're having a drink and you think going to a place with stimuli like bowling or whatever
Yeah.
is going to increase your fun,
Yeah.
or like, you know, ramp it up a notch,
Yeah.
chances are you're not having a very good date. You know what I mean? There's a chance that person isn't vibing with you. Like, if you're thinking that's going to save the date, it's probably not, because you could have a better date. Just
Having
fucking
coffee.
going, having a coffee, going on a walk.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Like doing
if
all
you're
that. What do you
vibing-
mean doing all that fucking romantic
what-
candle bullshit on the first date?
No, it's just
Yeah.
so, you know, like, it's just talking, man. Like,
You can, if you can make a girl have so much fun doing whatever activity, if you have that skill or
whatever
vibe with
you're
them.
doing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Like,
it
if
doesn't
you-
have to be like a crazy bowling or like Dave and Buster's. Like, yeah, it's great,
Yeah.
but it also can be something simple, and you can still make them have fun if you know how to do it.
So like
And some people don't. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I just want to know. Give me an example. Like, what do you mean? Like, do you mean like?
Like,
Because
just make them laugh, man. If you're funny,
okay. Yes.
like, it's good. Like, they'll have a good time.
Okay. But like,
you have to be
Well,
funny.
you know, I also wouldn't recommend be like, so what do you think about all the starving children in Nigeria?
yeah, you're
You
not
know,
gonna
like,
talk
you don't
about
want to be a
those.
downer. Like,
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
holy
no.
fuck, like, okay.
Yeah.
But
That's a media red flag for the chick.
they're going to be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, or no, I think it's whatever. Like, why would they want to go anywhere else other
Yeah.
than the initial spot?
No, I think having
unless
options,
they're
though.
enjoying
Yeah.
their time with you. So it doesn't matter. Maybe you don't do anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all you're doing. But if you feel like, if it's good, and you know what, the other thing, people don't want to do. They want to keep conversing. They don't want the distraction of bowling or loud or, like, you know, activity. It's nice. Some
Yeah.
people, it's cool to be able to do something together, you know, feel people out. But some people just want to go for that walk or just stay and
Yeah,
maybe
but how
just
do
be like,
you-
well, why don't we just have another drink and talk? Because they want to be able to know that they can fucking talk to you
But
when you're not having a good time, when you're not on date night, because that's what happens, right? Date nights, like, we're going out, the early stages are the fun time, and then it's like, okay, well, eventually it's like, if she becomes your girlfriend,
It's fun time 24/7.
You know what I mean? No, you can't maintain it, man.
It's all laughs and
like
games.
I said, you got a job, you got bills to pay.
Harley
so
Quinn
they
and
gotta know
Joker.
that they can sit there and talk to you, and not fucking hate you.
Yeah, that's why I distract them with bowling and darts and shit like that.
But what if
man.
they don't want to do that?
Well, I don't know. If she doesn't want to go and
But you
have
also
fun,
could get
I mean,
some
I get
girls-
conversation.
What
I
if
get
she's like,
conversation.
no, I just want to get to know you.
But some girls are
then I'd be like,
bored of
you
that.
get to know me while I'm throwing this dart.
But now
know?
now you're disagreeing.
No, but his
Then I
Now
guess
strategy-
she's like, well, he was really like just wanting to go play darts.
Then
Like it's like I could have
That's
left
the-
and he would just gone to play darts.
Yes.
That's the type of girl, though, man. Because you could have a girl on a date when you're talking to her, and she'd be bored. I've had that. She's just bored.
Oh no, that's why you bring it. It's an option.
Yeah.
Like, but you could but that's what I mean is that you got to gauge that situation and be like, okay, like we need to maybe they're tired, maybe they need to do something. Like
Yeah,
I knew
see-
girls that
yeah.
like would be like, I don't care, I just want to dance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Take me somewhere where we can dance, and it's like, all right, well, fuck, like that's happening.
yeah.
It's that opposite. Like they want to be. Some people want to be active, and then others don't. Like maybe they do, but not right now.
Right.
They just want to get to know. Maybe second date is where they're thinking we'll go do something a little more fun or a little more energetic. Tonight is
Yeah.
I want to. It's all about the connection, making the
Right.
connection, and if you can't, maybe dates 2 doesn't come because like. If it sucks and then you go bowling or wherever the fuck you go, how do you know that's gonna work?
Because we're doing stuff.
I don't know. It's interesting and like
I think it's good to have. I think it's good to have going into date to have escape plans, right? Because like I've been on the shitty dates where you're there and you're talking, and then you ask her or she asks you for the 5th time the same question that you asked 5 minutes ago, and you're like, "Fuck, this ain't going anywhere." Because it's like, "What's your favorite color again?" "Oh yeah." 10 minutes go by. "What's your favorite color again?" And it's like, fuck, this is a really shitty date. Whereas if it's like, I feel like, okay, well, we did a little bit of talking. I'm kind of a little bit bored of that. Let's go do something, get stimulated up, maybe joke around or whatever. And then that brings a little bit of life, pulls us out of our fuck. Because like, it's kind of like an interview.
well, that's
where-
why I recommend going places that have things to do in the place or
Yeah.
right next door or not
Yeah.
far, like a walk, like
no,
5-minute
I'm not
walk.
suggesting yet. You're
Where-
gonna drive there and drive there. I'm
You
talking
know,
like,
like-
yeah, go to a bar that has a little like a pool table or
Go to
whatever,
the
right?
ballroom. It's got a bar, it's got a bowling alley, it's got pool tables.
Dave and Buster's though. Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, it's kind of loud, and you get a lot of groups of idiots, and it's
Now you
like,
get a corner. There's a lounge. There's lounge areas. But anyways.
Yeah, that's played out, man. Like I don't know. I guess people still might try that shit, but like that's kind of like what I would talk shit about. Be like, yeah, like David Buster's, and then you'd be surprised how many people be like, I know, yeah, I had a date there, and it's like, yeah, no, I figured,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I think that it'd be interesting. Like I'm curious, like what girls would have to say
Yeah.
because. Like they're like we're talking about that, right? We're talking about what like pickups and to see like what's worked with them.
Yeah. What works on them.
What strategy worked with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like
And also more importantly, the shit they fucking hate. Cause like
yeah,
I don't like there's like
but some girls are spun now. No, like some girls are legit fucking spun. Where
They only
like
res-
they will like they just like they basically they want to date like a Negan. You know what I mean? Like like that to them is like and like they're talking like not even just the guy like the actor, like the actual character, like a guy that will fucking murder somebody, and like this motherfucking like just like that, like they just want like to be like dominated, in that emotional setting, physically, like just like in that real fucking weird way where like.
Yeah.
They like an emotionally like charged person.
Okay, yeah. So that kind of again kind of something to do with. So I've read a book called Seduction by Robert Greene. It's a book
You can
about
read?
seduction. I can read. It's 400 pages, man.
Fuck me, man.
Anyways, long story
Like,
short,
not comic, nothing. The real pictures,
real books.
Were there pictures?
Yes, literature. Whatever. Anyways, the book basically breaks down that a successful seduction is finding out what your target wants and then providing them that. So simply saying, if you find out a girl is into that character and you become that character, long term you're not going to be able to sustain it, but It's for instance, if you find out
you're lying.
if you find out a girl likes bad boys and you become a bad boy, she's probably gonna.
Why would I do that?
You successful? Pickup?
For what purpose? No, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
First of all, if we're talking pickups, sure, but like I'm saying, nobody's. If we're just picking like cold
approach.
Cold approach.
Yeah, that's a different. Yeah,
Nobody's gonna be like, I love puppies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't fucking do that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Don't be a pussy. Yeah,
okay.
Don't be a pussy. But
yeah,
you can't be a complete raging maniac. Like, getting all into something would be like that. Well, fucking beat that motherfucker's ass outside right now. Like, whoa, like that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
But yeah, have an edge to you.
No, but what I'm saying is
I think
adjusting,
most normal people do.
No, for instance, like let's say you find out a girl, didn't have a dad, right? And she has what we can define as daddy issues. If you become like kind of replace that role of becoming a daddy or having dad vibes,
Are you following this, man?
No, dude.
I'm kind of not following.
There's that thing. Girls like to date guys that are like their dads. If they don't have one, then
someone to look up to. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I'm just saying
some girls are like that, but
you adjust to their needs, and if they need a daddy,
if you're doing that on purpose to get some, that's fucked.
Oh yeah, but there's guys that do that. AKA your fucking your real social dynamic guys. Your
yeah.
It's called games, and we're talking. Those are like real psychological.
No, for sure.
Games.
But like, what's okay?
I'm just saying.
What's your end game? Like, what do you want?
What those guys want? Because I personally don't.
Because if you cold approach a girl, you don't know none of that shit.
You can find out.
You walk up. She's either interested. She's not interested.
Yeah.
So, what attitude are you having going in?
Well, you know what I mean.
You don't know any of this.
You dig information. You dig it out.
So,
right? Yeah.
It's out the window.
30
it's out
second,
the window.
30
Maybe
second,
she doesn't mention her fucking childhood divorce.
You do your 30-second life rule thing, right? And she reveals, dad, whatever, or something else or whatever, and that information comes up on you or whatever.
But
right?
Do
you adjust to that?
I'm not sure what you're doing. So you want to exploit her weakness
to get some pussy. That's what it sounds like.
To do something, but that's not who you are.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to work.
There are people that do that.
She's just going to die. Yeah. She's going to run you.
But there's guys that do that and are successful.
No, I believe it.
I mean, it's horrible, whatever, right? But
well, it's like,
yeah,
for sure, man. I'm not saying
exploitation, but still, it's
but that's who they are, right?
Yeah.
So like, whatever, like that's if they're doing that, then that's who they are,
right?
Like,
right.
If they're, you're not going to know, man.
Okay, so just to wrap it up, if you could give the other guys and everybody else single advice how to pick up girls, what's your fucking clothing? What's your little tidbit? Just like to all the guys out there that are fucking struggling, what's your tip of the?
Don't be a pussy.
Just make a move.
You have to. Mm-hmm. You can't sit back. You can't think. You can't be like, oh, I'm gonna, I'll wait. No,
you just gotta.
Okay.
You got to do it because you who knows. And if you rejection's part of life, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just a numbers game if you get rejected. But I agree. Don't be a pussy, and I personally like the cold approach.
Yeah. But not giving numbers or asking for numbers?
Well, I do both, but asking is probably better.
Okay. And yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
we talked a lot of nonsense.
We did.
Here.
We definitely did.
But I'm very curious about what girls have to say because they're the ones that drive. It's just what was it? The honesty, right?
Yeah. So for those ladies listening to this on SoundCloud, iTunes, or Google Play, let us know what you think. What moves work? What moves don't work? And
this podcast is brought to you by Pear Juice.